I am taking a quick break from NaNoWriMo, which is kicking my ass, to do a review on these new 2018 Midori planners. Okay, so I am super excited about this. So you can see here that I ended up getting this one from Tokyo Pen Shop, which is where I originally saw the video for these planners, and I will link that down below. Unfortunately, they were out of this one, and this one wasn't even on the website. I'm not sure why, because it was in the video. So I ended up getting these from Amazon Japan. So before I get into the main event, I wanted to show you a couple of other things that I ended up getting from there. So these cute little Japanese stickers, are they not adorable? I love them so much. So cute. And then I ended up picking up some of these flower fairies. So pretty. And they have them in a couple of different colors. The one I wanted, of course, they were out of, but they were just so beautiful. I had to have them because, I don't know, it was something maybe about being a fiction writer or a girl, or just because they're plain awesome. I've always been in love with fairies. They make me just super happy. I don't even know. But they're really cute, aren't they? I know. And there's some duplicates of each pattern in there. So I picked up those. And then I picked up two more things. I bought this from Tokyo Pen Shop a while back, and it was just like one of those things I wanted to try. There's a little smiley face on there, which it makes me laugh every time I see it. I wanted to try this out because, and this is supposed to be like a starter fountain pen. And what's really great about these is it twists off, and it has these little Pilot ink cartridges that you just shove up there until it snaps. I shouldn't say snap, maybe it pops. And then you just like pump it a few times, the cartridge, and then it comes out. It comes in packs like these, and you can get them in like, I think 5 or 6 different colors, and it's like no mess, no fuss. You don't have to get a converter or anything like that. So I love these. And I decided to get them in brown this time, and I ended up getting a pack of these, which I was so excited about. They have a couple of different styles. Yeah, but these ones are the little cats, and I thought they were so cute. I had to have them. I don't even know why. You just like, they're perforated. So you just pull them off, and then you can just put them anywhere that you want. So let's see. Put it right here on the first. It's the new year. Are those not the cutest things ever? I know. And Midori has made things like this in the past, but usually they come on like a sticker sheet, and then they're like, you can see through them like this, but these ones are that new like washi tape rolly kind of thing, which I thought was pretty cool. So let's get started with the planners. I think I'm going to start with these two first. Okay, so they come in about, I think there's like 4 different patterns. And this is just the one that I chose because I thought it looked very elegant. And so there are 2 different kinds that you can get. This one is the monthly. Let's start with that first. So it comes with like this plastic over the plastic cover. And of course it's in Japanese, so I can't read any of it. But it does call itself a Pocket Diary 2018. This is not a pocket size, so let me clarify that immediately, and I will show you what this fits in a little bit. But definitely don't think that it's a pocket because it says pocket. I believe that is it Kimberly from Tokyo Pen Shop? In her video, she said that this was considered a B6, kind of like a slim. I'm going to go ahead and tell you that it's a little too short for that, but I mean, I think it'll fit just fine on a string if you put it in a traveler's notebook, B6 Slim, but it is a little bit shorter than B6 and a lot more narrow than B6 Slim. I don't know how much a lot is, but anyway, it comes with this like clear plastic cover that you can remove if you want to, but it does protect it a little bit around the edging. So there's that. So on the inside, you have this cardstock, pretty thick, that you can put whatever you would like on. Then you have this little design that says 2018. Then a blank page. And then you have your year at a glance for 2018, 2019. And this is so cool. I'm loving this. I missed this in my Hobonichi, and I'm so excited that they included it in here, which I believe they do in their regular Midori like monthly insert and weekly insert. This comes in it. I also like the colors that they chose to use in here. It's just really beautiful. So excited. So here you can just go ahead and track one thing or a bunch of things. I've talked about this before. You can make a little key where you make like little squares here, and each square can mean a different thing, and you can do the squares in different colors and then put your key like here at the top. And I love that there's space at the top, so if you wanted to decorate more you could, but I love that they've added like these little pictures in here, so I don't feel like I have to decorate if I don't want to, which makes me very happy because I'm lazy. And then it starts in October, the months, which is wonderful to people who are planner addicts who have to buy things like in advance, and so you're sad because you can't really use them. You can start using this in October. It's already November, so this month is already passed, which is fine, but I can already start tracking things on here. And again, it's very elegant. They don't over decorate. It's very beautiful. Usually Midori, when I think about them, especially their planners, I think business, and I also think masculine. You know that a man designed the layout for that. Whether a woman did it or they decided to do their research, it's very nice. Now, there is an issue with the layout. It depends on how you feel. But for some reason, they decided not to put a notes section here, or, you know, sometimes they will put like all of the upcoming months over here in their monthly. They decided not to do that. And I mean, that's fine, except the boxes are oddly shaped, and Thursday seem to be, so it's like, so these 3 boxes are the same size. These 2 are the same size, and then the weekend is even larger. I'm not sure how I feel about that. If you're a person who works all week and you need to schedule a lot of stuff on the weekends, like taking your kids places and what have you, then maybe you will appreciate that the weekends are larger, but I just think it's kind of odd. I'm going to pull it up so you can kind of see. They're definitely larger. And yeah, I'm not sure how I feel about it. I'm not hating it, but I'm not like loving it yet. We'll see how it goes once I start planning in here, how I feel. But I do appreciate that they've left a little bit of space here so you can go ahead and put in like a tracker or some notes down here, whereas normally they'll put like the next month or something weird at the bottom. There's something here written in Japanese. Of course, I can't read it, but that again, I don't feel like needs to be there. But again, I do appreciate that there is some space up here to add some washi or some other notes if you feel like this is not decorated enough or you need some more space. So again, the elegance is beautiful. The other thing that's very interesting, and I'm not sure if I hate it or not, is that the lines are drawn in. It's like they took a pen and they drew out the whole layout instead of having sharp, crisp lines. And I appreciate sharp, crisp lines, but it's subtle enough that it's not too weird, but you can definitely see there that it's kind of wobbly down here, which I think is kind of funny. I'm going to appreciate that Hobonichi is realizing that women are buying their planners just as much as men, and they're trying to do something a little bit more girly or elegant, whichever word you'd like to choose, and I love that. So I definitely wanted to support this by buying it. So you end up getting 3 months extra in here before 2018 starts, which is great. And these are all basically the same, where the weekend the boxes are larger, and then Thursday and Friday are larger than these 3. And I'm just loving the fact, look at these are beautiful. So I am definitely one of those people who's not a fan of flowers. I think a lot of the time I don't love flowers because they're not always tastefully done, and also the fact that I hate pink. I just hate pink, and a lot of flowers are pink. But again, they do it in such a nice, elegant way that it's not too much. It's very subtle, and I appreciate that. I just think it looks very beautiful. And this might be a little bit too girly, or maybe a little bit older in age. I don't know. Sometimes people think that about florally things, but when it came to the 4 that they had, this is the one I liked the most. I don't know. So, you know, you do you. but just how cute. Look at the little stars. There is something else I should mention. So in the months, there are these like spots, and I'm not entirely sure why they chose to do that. I think it's a little bit distracting, but they just have like splattered little spots all over the layout for funsies. I don't know. That's there. And at first I thought, oh, there's stuff in here, and I was trying to wipe it off, but it doesn't come off. So there's that. And of course, up here at the top, you can see that the months and the days of the week are not written in English, but it's pretty easy to figure out. It is a Monday start because Sunday is always in red. So there's that. But there's enough space that you can put like an M, you know, like the first letter of each day of the week, or you could just write it at the top here. And you can always, of course, and you can always go ahead and brush letter up here at the top, because a lot of people like to do that, what month it is. So that's nice. Love this one. Okay, and then we come to the end of the year, and you will see that you end up getting January of 2019 at the end before it goes into notes. And you get 1, 2, 3, 4 note pages, and then you get 1, 2, 3 of these email, fax / address pages. After that, it goes into like, I think this is like the Metro map system. And there are some notes down here at the bottom. And a lot of times I feel like this is stuff we can all Google, or that they usually have like those pamphlets or flyers to get this information if you really needed it. So I don't think it's necessary, but you know, they include it. So there's that. You can always cover this with a sticky notes or with other paper, which I have done in the past. And at the end, you just have like a information page. And that is it. Another piece of cardstock. This plasticky cover does come with a pen loop, which is pretty cool. I don't know if I can fit a pen in here. Let's see if I can. So this guy is a little bit, it gets stuck because of the cap. So there's that. The Pilot Varsity sits in there nicely. And there you go. So that's really cute. I love this. So if you're someone who just is kind of like me, the reason why I chose to get this, even though I'm loving bullet journaling, I find that I really miss this kind of calendar layout. I mean, I do like my list form calendar, but this, I really miss it, and I am too lazy to draw this out. So I thought I would go ahead and get one of these. And she did mention that it was B6 Slim. Of course, I can't read Japanese, so I don't know if it says that on the cover information or on Amazon Japan, but I thought, yeah, since I have a B6 and a B6 Slim, I thought I would try this out because I don't want to draw it out. So if you're lazy like me, maybe this is something for you. Okay. And now we will move on to this one, which is also saying that it is a true B6. So let's go ahead and measure it out. Let me move up here. 1, 2, 3, 4, 5. And then it goes up 1, 2, 3, 4, 5, 6, 7. So yeah, B6 exactly. And then of course this has a matching cover. I mean, you can mix and match them. I just like the layout of this one the best. And if Tokyo Pen Shop has the name of what this one's called, I will flash it on the screen or put it down below. So this one also says that it is a Pocket Diary 2018. And again, that doesn't mean the actual size. It is 5 by 7. So again, just keep that in mind. And I think right here it's showing you that it starts in October of 2018 and goes through January 2019. So that's kind of cool. And again, this just has like this plasticky cover over the plastic cover. Plastic on plastic. Oh, I'm gonna rip it. No ribbon in the monthly, but the weekly does. Okay, so I don't have my Hobonichi by me because I'm absurd, but it's pretty thick. I don't know if it's exactly Hobonichi thick. I think it's a little bit thinner. Maybe it's like more Avec Hobonichi thick than just like the original. But this has months and weeks in it, and it does come with this clear cover, and the cover does have the same exact pen loop at the back, which is cool because if you don't have any pockets or anything, you can stick things inside this cover, like some, you know, stickies or something like that. Obviously not this thick, but you could just house some stuff in here, which is awesome. So this one has that same thick cardstock in the beginning, and then a beautiful design that says 2018 on it. Then we have the 2018-2019 year at a glance. Same setup as the monthly here, so I love that because I can track things on here that's separate from in here. And so each number represents what month it is, and it's only actually on the first page. And then after that, it's just kind of blank, but you can see the 2 underneath it or the number of the next month underneath it, so you always know what month you're on, which is great. So this one starts with October 2017, and it's the same layout as the monthly. So you get these lines that are kind of like, the layout looks like it's been drawn in, which is cool. Again, the weekends are huge, and Thursday and Friday seem to be more of the same size as Monday, Tuesday, and Wednesday, whereas in here it looked like it was a different size. And it might be because there's this, like, you know, the pages are divided here, and so it makes it look like it's wider than it actually is. I'm not entirely sure, but that's like something that definitely you'll have to get used to. I don't know if it's going to bug you or not. And again, you have like these little like splatches of, I don't even know, on here that makes it look kind of like more organic. You know how like you make paper? If you've ever made paper by hand, like you take a bunch of old scrap paper and you put it in a blender with water and you like dry it out on a rack, that's kind of what these little like splotches remind me of, like when you make paper. It's cool. I'm not concerned about it. I should mention that this is kind of a cream colored paper. It's a little bit darker in my opinion than my Lloydstrom, I think. It's not crazy dark, but I think also in the Midori monthlies and stuff, they are also like a cream color, so probably about the same. And again, this is just very subtly done, which I love. There's some space at the bottom here, unlike the months in here that have lines, so you can write some things, or you can have some space to do some decorating. Again, if you want to stamp in here, or you want to add some washi, or you want to do some brush lettering, there is enough space that you can go ahead and personalize this, which is really nice. Then we go into November and December, and that is the end of 2017. 2018 starts, and so this is actually a little bit different than the Hobonichi, and I kind of like it. So in the Hobonichi, you get all of your months one after the other, and then your days all together. In here, you actually get your month, and then it goes into your week, which is kind of cool. So it's separated in that way, and I love it. So one of the reasons why I couldn't fall in love with the Hobonichi is the grid. It's too small for my big fat writing, and it drives me crazy. I think they use like a 4, and then like it's like a 4x4 or whatever they call it, and then the Lloydstrom uses like a 5x5 or 5 grid per inch or whatever you want to call it. And in here they don't have grid at all, and that's kind of scary for me because I'm gonna have to wing it. I'm not the best at like writing straight, and I have horrible handwriting to begin with. So the only concern I really have is this first page that's behind the month. But when you turn it like this, you can see the lines on this page behind it, so you kind of get 1, 2, 3 lines. I don't know if it'll pick it up on camera. Let's see. But you kind of get like 3 lines there, which is kind of awesome. So I should be able to write straight on these after that first month. So this is a week on 2 pages, which, you know, in the past, I don't know why, I just cannot get it together, but It's something about the Hobonichi weeks. I think it's the size, the fact that it's narrow, that I just can't plan in it. And I find that a lot of people say the same thing about the Midori regular or standard size. There's something about the fact that it's so narrow and long. I think it's Ellie Brown who mentioned that it's kind of like an artsy fartsy size. I think that's what she said, and I think that I agree with her on that. So it's something about the fact that they cut off that inch and change and make it more square instead of so long and narrow, that I feel like I might be able to plan this better, and it doesn't have that smaller grid, so I'm going to see how it goes. Now, keep in mind that if you're someone who likes the grid, over here it doesn't have it. So if you wanted to make some boxes and stuff, you might have to break out the ruler, which I know for some of us it's just like a pass. But I think I'm going to use this for my health and food tracking, like fitness planner. And so a lot of it might be like Dear Diary stuff of what I ate, and I don't really need the grid as much for that. So it's okay for me, but keep that in mind. Another thing to keep in mind is, unlike the Hobonichi, it doesn't have like what week of the year you're on. I mean, I don't know what that says in Japanese, but it's probably just the month. And so that's kind of a bummer for me because I really, really love having that. So that's something I'll have to look up. Another interesting fact about this is when you get to the end of the month, it doesn't have the rest of the week here. It's like this is only for January, and then you're going to move into February, which some people might find nice because you have some extra space for some notage here. Like you can just write some notes about your thoughts on the month or something, and it doesn't, like, you don't have to do that here. You can continue doing whatever you do with this page, this memo page. So that is something to keep in mind, because now I'm so used to seeing my whole week on the same page that I'm gonna have to flip past the monthly for February and get the rest of my week. And you'll see here that of course they start it down below. So Monday, Tuesday, Wednesday is over here, and they just start with Thursday. So that is another thing to also keep in mind. I don't know how people are going to feel about that, but again, it's very nicely done, very tasteful, and it is really cute. I don't know, I just love it. So let's go all the way to the end of the month. So here is December 2018. Again, you get your week. So here you'll see that you get a lot of extra note space because there's only one day in this week for December. After December 2018, you get January 2019, but you don't get any of the weeks. And after January 2019, you end up getting 18 pages of notes, and each spread has a different design. So you can actually use these for a brain dump for each month, which is awesome, or just, you know, for any kind of notes or collections in general. After your lined pages, you get 1, 2, 3, 4, 5, 6, 7 pages of these address, email, fax information pages. And then on the last page, I kind of wanted to see how some of the pens that I have, and I think a lot of people use, are going to hold up in here. So you can see that I just used a lot of the standard pens that most people use in their planners. So you can see that I used some of these Zig clear color real brushes here, and it blended beautifully. And I also used some Distress Stain by Tim Holtz, and this is in Broken China, and I went over it twice. So I just left it on my desk and I let it dry. So you can see here that it bled through because it all came to like a little puddle. So that was sort of my bad, but you can see the rest of it did not bleed through. So a lot of times I'll see people who are doing artsy stuff take like a baby wipe or something and dab a little so that doesn't happen. And if you do that, it's going to be perfectly fine on this paper. You can see here that it took the Zig just fine, and I think that you can go ahead and watercolor if you wanted to in here. And nothing else bled through. Of course, here the mild liner, for some reason, I think because I was like really going to town coloring on it, it did bleed a little bit, but you know, you can just not get crazy like I did and be perfectly fine. Here I have some Tombos. I don't have any darker Tombos, but this is also a Tombow marker down here, and those did just fine. I use my Varsity Pilot pen, which tends to go ahead. I mean, it'll bleed on some paper, but it comes out a lot because I think this is like a medium or a broad tip. And then I went ahead and used this one, which is a fine tip. You can see those here. And neither one of them had any bleed through. It's definitely some ghosting, but it was good. So there is that. And I mean, I felt like because this is Midori, they were going to use that beautiful Japanese paper. I'm not sure. I don't think that this is thicker Tomowa River paper. It doesn't say. Again, if it does, it's in Japanese. So I don't know what the GSM weight of the paper is, but it might be orchid paper, which is something I think they might use in the Stellology. I'm not sure. But it's a very nice quality paper, and it's not as thick as the Midori MD paper that I don't really care for as much. So I'm not sure what it is, but it can pretty much hold a lot of different kinds of mediums. It's just, again, don't let it run into a puddle and you'll be fine. And again, it does come with one of these ribbons. So if you're one of those people who are a fan of these, there you go. Yeah, and the thing that I love the most about this is, again, like the Hobonichi, you can see that it's sewn so it lays completely flat, which makes me so happy. Of course, these pages want to make me a liar, but it is sewn. This one also, I should mention, is sewn, so that if you give it a nice breaking in, it will lay decently flat, so that's nice. So now we are on our last one, and this is actually the one I picked up from Tokyo Pen Shop. So this one comes, I think, in maybe 4 or 5 different designs. Again, I will have the video down below and she shows all of them, and I think each design comes in 2 different colors. And so this was just one that I think I really liked, the kind of cream color. I think she ends up calling it beige. It's kind of beige. It seems like it's like a white pearl, and they've put this really pretty shimmery gold over it. And then it has like these, can you hear that? Really cool designs of full moons and half moons, which I love. And this is called the Professional. So unlike the 2 I've already shown you, this is supposed to be a little bit more professional. Now, I know the outside makes it look a little fun and festive, which a lot of people appreciate, but the inside is very much business-like. So we have a piece of cardstock here, and then it goes into a little, what does it say here? A dedication for your business effort. And it says professional since 1989, 2018, and then it has Midori at the bottom. Very nice. So this one seems to be like a cream colored paper that has some like gray undertones. So it looks like it's slightly darker than this. But this is more of that standard cream that you'll find in a lot of the Midori regular sized monthly and weekly inserts. And then you have your yearly schedule is what they're calling this, or your perpetual calendar, whatever you'd like to call it. And I'm kind of annoyed with this because it looks really busy, even though I haven't done anything to it. And that's just because, let me pull it up close. They have the day of the week in English and then in Japanese underneath it. And so it just kind of takes up a lot of space. So I don't know how I feel about that. I kind of wish they would just leave it blank like this guy, where it's just empty and it looks less busy and I can just fill it out how I wish. Over here, it also gives you 2019. Again, I find like this is like a waste. Unless you're really like a super business person who needs to plan things and see things ahead, like 6 months to a year, this, in my opinion, is a waste. So I went ahead and I took some washi that I had, and this is like a 3mm washi, and I just covered it up to kind of show you that you can cover this up and make it look nice, and it won't have to like distract you because you can just add some color and some design to the page. So that is really nice. And then it goes into December. So again, if you're someone who ends up getting these like a month before your year starts, you can go ahead and start using these right away, which is awesome. I only have like about 3 weeks before I can use this, and I'm loving this layout. So not only do you get one calendar, you get two. So you get one in the square boxed calendar format, and then you get one in the list format off to the left side, which is so nice. You also end up getting what week of the year it is off to the side. Can you see that right there? Which I am loving, since the other two are missing that. Now I have one that has it, so that's so cool. And then again, they give you like the month that's coming up next right at the bottom in the corner. So that's really great, because that means that I can use this for tracking. I can just ignore the month and like the days of the week and just use this as a tracker if I want to, or you can use this to go ahead and look ahead to the next month. Down here you have some tick boxes so that you can go ahead and place some to-dos, and then you have some space down here for some notes. Again, this space can be used to decorate or to washi tape, as well as go ahead and use one of those brush pens to do some brush lettering, which is awesome. Now, if you know anything about me, you know that I absolutely love Growing Up Goddess's month on 2 pages, because in between the months she has these grid pages for you to do whatever you want. So this one gives you 2-page spread to do whatever you want right here for December. So you can do your brain dump on one side. Down here you get some tick boxes. You get 1, 2, 3, 4 columns of them. So you can put all of your bills that are due down here. You can put down some to-dos, you can put down some goals for the month, and then you can have something else over here. So this is so pretty. And again, I love that it's very subtle, and each month has the same spreads. And then we go all the way to the end of 2018. And then it gives you January 2019 with the same 2-page spread. And then it goes into notes. So you end up getting 17 pages of notes. So there's plenty of notes here that you can take 1 page per month and go ahead and do like some thoughts or some fillings, or you can do a brain dump back here if you didn't want to do it on that 2-page spread. It's very interesting because they actually have it divided in half right there. Can you see that? It's very subtle. They're like little dots. But it's divided in half, so you can actually use this for grocery lists for the month, and you can write the month here and write all of that here or whatever. You can go ahead and use like a Hobonichi stencil, which I have, and make some little tick boxes here, but it's 2 columns. But it's nice enough that if you wanted to, you could go ahead and write straight across it if you wanted to use lines. It's pretty narrow, so I'm going to say that this is more like that 4x4 grid that I don't love. Very, very narrow, but again, you can use it however you want to. You can ignore the lines and just do something artsy fartsy back here, or use it as collection pages. So after the notes, you get an ID and password page. I wouldn't use something like this, but some people might. Again, when I have a password little booklet that I carry with me everywhere, it's in code, so if I lose it, nobody can read it but me. So if you want to do something like that here, you can. Over here, you have like addresses, which some people find are nice, but again, I'd prefer to have the notebook pages, because if I want to go ahead and draw or write this out, then I will. You know what I mean? So there's that. And then you get this projects sheet, which is kind of cool. And you get 1, 2, 3, 4, 5 projects that you can track. It goes all the way to 31, so it doesn't matter what month of the year you use it for. It has a little memos column off to the right here. This is really cool. You could take a ruler if you wanted to and line off about maybe 5 or 6 projects, depending on how small you want to make them, for 1 month, which is kind of awesome. I like this a lot. I don't even know. After that, you get a 2-page spread of to-do sheets. So you get 1, 2, 3, 4, 5, 6 of those. And they get little tick boxes, and that says themes. You can name them whatever you want. If you're very into quarterly goals, you go ahead and put quarter 1, quarter 2, quarter 3, quarter 4, and then have 2 for something else. Just maybe things that you want to do for the year in general. It doesn't matter what quarter or what month of the year it gets done. This is stuff, again, that I feel like you can Google. I want the extra sheets, but there it is. these pages I'll probably just cover. Again, more information you can Google. Bunch of other stuff that I can't read because it's in Japanese. And then they go into that Metro map stuff, which I think is colorful and beautiful, and I might cut out and use like to cover another insert or something. I don't know. And at the end you get a personal memos page to put all of your information, and then a blank. Okay, so now it's time to start talking about some sizing. I was concerned about how these things were going to fit in traveler's notebooks and notebook covers that I already have. So this is supposed to be considered A5 slim. And I have my A5 notebook cover here. So this schedule is getting to me a little bit. I remember when I first used it, I used it for a while, but then I moved out of the system that I was in, and I kind of forgot that this was a Sunday start, and I'm a Monday start kind of girl. So I've put some highlighter on Sunday and Saturday to remind me that this is not Monday, but it's still kind of annoying me. So for $3 at Walmart, I've used this on and off for about a year and change. It has 2 years in it, and so I think it's gotten its use, and I'm okay with throwing this away because I can no longer deal. So this one is going to take the place of this one after November, because I already have my November calendar all set up in here. And you can see that it's about 1/2 inch more narrow, which is basically what I assumed would happen with a slim. And there's how it looks. Now this is a very like cheap pleather kind of like plastic cover that's very bendable, so it's kind of a little more difficult to fit back here because it's not as stiff, so it won't go directly in nicely, so you just have to be aware of that, but it does go in. This cover does come off, so if you just wanted to use like the cardboard cover instead, you can certainly do that. So if it doesn't match, don't worry about that. I already love this more because this being a true A5, and the fact that they have the closure on the inside of the notebook kind of was like getting in the way. I mean, it wasn't like I could still use it, but it was kind of a little bit annoying. Since this is much shorter, it doesn't even bother it, which is kind of cool. And then I'm going to go ahead and show you, because I was wondering, because this is Midori, if it would fit in an actual Midori. So here is my blue edition Traveler's Notebook. So you can see that it sticks out quite a bit. Okay, so let me show you. This is a Traveler's Notebook insert standard. And again, this is about, I think, like a 1/2 inch wider. Now, I should mention that this cover does come off. And you can see here that it gives about maybe 3 or 4 centimeters extra cushion so that it can protect, and that's also in height as well, so it can protect your pages. So I'm going to take it off and see how that looks. Okay, so this cover is definitely like, look, it's very junky. It definitely needs to be covered with something else because I don't like the way it looks, but you can see here there is some space around the edge all the way around. When you close it, there is still a little bit of overhang. Now, if you don't mind that, then maybe you can put it into a traveler's notebook, but I don't like that. And again, I'm not trying to use it in traveler's notebook. Let's see. There is some space on the edge here. So if you wanted to trim it down just a smidge so that it could fit in here, you could do that. All you would be cutting off really is probably a little bit of this grayish black box. So there's that. You might get into a situation where you cut off the weeks if you did that. So again, be thinking about that. So you can see B6, B6 Slim, and this is even more narrow than a B6 Slim in my opinion. So let me show you some things. Here is a Traveler's Notebook insert standard. I've cut it down so that it's B6 Slim roughly. And you can see that it's even more narrow than that. And this is supposed to be a little more narrow than actual B6 Slim. and it's not as tall either. So this is a Chic Sparrow B6 Slim. And you can see here, it's quite a bit more. I would say like almost an inch or 3/4 of an inch more narrow than that. And the height is still off. There. So here is my B6 Slim by Chic Sparrow in the color Time Traveler in Outlander Leather. So let's see here. Here is just the monthly, and these are kind of loose, so I don't think that's too bad of a fit. I mean, it's actually almost perfect. So these inserts must go like right to the edge, whereas this one, so yeah, this will work fine in here. I don't think it'll move up and down too much. Again, these are really loose, so yeah, you could totally use this in here if you don't mind the fact that it's going to be a little bit more narrow than this. So that's sort of how it's going to look. A little shorter, but it does work fine. My A6 is also by Chic Sparrow, and you can see that it is way too tall to go ahead and fit in there. But for all of you personal size planner TN insert people, you will find that this fits perfect in here. And it's not just the height, but also the width is pretty close, I'd say, to personal size. And this is a personal that I cut down from, I think, Growing Up Goddess. And it's like exactly the same height and exactly the same width. So yeah, if you're someone who loves the personal size, and I know there are people who do, this is really great for that. My Hobonichi against this, which they're trying to call B6. And you'll see that, yeah, it's definitely not as tall, but the width is exactly the same. So definitely personal size in my opinion. And the last thing I wanted to mention about this little guy is this. This is a B6 Slim folder from Taroko Designs. And so this actually fits in here pretty nicely. And so you can see here that it's even more narrow than the B6 Slim. But if you put it in here, I don't know what's going on with all these Japanese products I'm buying. This smells like really strong too, like a soap and something else. I don't know, it's like perfumey. That's interesting. Okay. Anyway, side note. But you can buy something like this and put it in here. Put this on the first string, and that way it won't bother you as much, like the size difference, because you can't even see it because it's in this. Or, you know, I have some of these from Chic Sparrow, and these are in the B6 Slim. And so you could use something like that if you already have one, and go ahead and put some decorative paper in here, and then again, you won't be able to see that the size difference is kind of awkward. So that's something else that you could possibly do and have no worries. Because my issue is, how do you put like an insert in here and have something that's more narrow in front of it? Because I think it would make it awkward to kind of write on. Do you know what I mean? Like, because you're missing this, it's like writing weird. So if you put it in something like these, you won't notice the difference, and there'll be something to like write on. Do you know what I mean? I hope that makes sense. So now let's look at the B6. So here again, this is a B6. No, that's not it. Let me show you. Here is a B6 Slim insert by Chic Sparrow, and you will see that it's just a smidge wider making it more of a true B6 than a B6 Slim, which is what they are saying it is, B6. And you can see sort of, it's hard to see with the plastic cover on the outside, but it's a little bit shorter than B6 size, but not too much that's going to make a crazy difference. So I'm sorry I don't have a B6. I'm still waiting for like ever for it to come, but I will show you how it looks in the B6 Slim by Chic Sparrow, because I know that some makers have different sizing. I'm sorry this is like so loose. It's crazy. We're going to work with it. And by the way, a funny side note, this smells like salt and pepper. I'm not even kidding. I gave it to my boyfriend. I said, what does this smell like? He's like pepper and salt? And I was like, yes. It reminded me of like when boxes of food say things like, this product is manufactured on equipment that processes products containing eggs or milk or something that might be, you know, to do with allergies. I think that's so funny. But yeah, so on a side note, they might be making salt and pepper in the same factory. I don't know. Let's go ahead and fold it up in here. And you can see that there's plenty of space at the top because it's a little bit shorter than B6. And then on the side, and then on this side too. So because it's a little bit wider than B6 Slim, it's not going to, like, usually the pen will sit in there nicely and you don't see it as much, but since it's a little bit wider than that, the pen kind of sticks out, which is fine. Like, I don't have an issue with that at all. So for all of you people who are thinking, I have a B6 Slim, will it fit in there? Yes, it will. If it's a Chic Sparrow, I know that, like, what is it, Sojourner? They tend to have like a retro B6 Slim that's a lot more narrow than this. But so that has been my review on these Midori 2018 planners. I'm really appreciating that they're trying to be a little more feminine because they realize that we are consumers that are buying their products. So I definitely want to support that and encourage them to continue making these. Note that I'm going to put down where I got these on Amazon Japan, and if you decide that you want to try that out and you're a first timer, definitely know that you should use Chrome, because Chrome has a translating button. So if you get everything in Japanese, you can just put translate and it will do a pretty great job. And they are also doing the yen into dollars, which Hobonichi does not do. So that's really, really nice. And you can read a little bit of their description. There's not like a lot of information, but it is helpful. And I've definitely shopped from Amazon Japan before and had no issues with credit cards or anything like that. Unfortunately, I did find in the past that I cannot use the same account that I have in America, so I had to make a new one. I do know that Tokyo Pen Shop had a few more of these left. This one in the dog style planner, and they didn't have this one at all. So I would check there first if you want to try to pick up any of these, or you could probably email them to see if they're going to get any more in stock. I just, I went to Amazon Japan because I'm okay with using that site, but you do you. All right, so don't forget to like, comment, and subscribe. I hope that this was helpful. Thanks for watching, and I'll talk to you soon. Bye.